Welcome to the Explainer. So today, we are taking an absolute sledgehammer to one of the biggest lies we've been sold by the modern self-help industry. For years, right, we've been totally gaslit into believing that laziness is this massive defect of character. We're told it's a lack of willpower, a shortage of grit, or, that we just aren't hustling hard enough. We treat our perfectly normal desire to just sit on the couch like some kind of sin that needs to be completely exorcised from our bodies, with endless motivational speeches, crazy amounts of caffeine, and those ridiculous 5 a.m. cold plunges. But what if everything you've been told about your own laziness is literally 100% wrong? Laziness is a result of deep, uncontrollable attraction to comfort. Now, this single, powerful idea, it completely shifts the blame. It takes the target right off your personal willpower and puts it exactly where it belongs, on your biological factory settings. We really need to realize that laziness isn't a failure of your internal system at all. It actually means your system is functioning perfectly on its default mode. Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1, the lie about laziness. To really wrap our heads around our daily struggles, we've got to look at the sheer conflict we're facing here. On one side, you have the self-help industry basically guilt-tripping you, calling your inaction a complete defect of character. But then, on the flip side, scientific reality tells a completely different story. Your everyday struggle to get up and be productive, that's actually driven by 2 million years of evolutionary engineering. Your laziness is, in fact, a deeply ingrained survival instinct. Which brings us to Section 2, your eco-mode brain. So when we actually look under the hood at how our biology manages resources, the disproportion is just staggering. Your brain makes up a tiny 2% slice of your overall body weight, yet it completely hogs a massive 20% of your metabolic energy. It is literally the most energy-expensive organ in your entire body. And because of this massive energy drain, your brain fiercely protects its power reserves. It looks at the couch and sees a safe harbor. It looks at the gym or, that really difficult project on your desk and just sees an expensive, unnecessary risk. I want you to keep this number in mind for a second. 2 million. For 99% of our 2 million years of human history, calories were incredibly scarce. Movement cost precious energy. Back then, if you burned 500 calories going for a run just for the fun of it, you might literally starve to death. So naturally, your biology developed a brilliant, foolproof system to stop you from doing exactly that. And it turns out, comfort acts on the brain pretty much exactly like an opioid painkiller. When you conserve energy by resting, your primitive brain, specifically the basal ganglia, rewards you with a massive hit of dopamine. But if you expend unnecessary effort, it punishes you with cortisol, the stress hormone. This creates an almost uncontrollable addiction to comfort. Honestly, your brain is just trying to keep your battery at 100% for a predator attack that, well, in the modern world, is simply never coming. So here's the really fascinating duality our bodies have created. Discomfort, we're talking things like cold, hunger, physical exertion, mental strain, that signals a direct threat to our homeostasis. Comfort, on the other hand, warmth, a super soft surface, passive entertainment on your phone, that signals a return to homeostasis. When we choose comfort, we aren't just relaxing. We are literally dosing ourselves with safety. We lust for safety because it's driven by the exact same neural pathways that drive our thirst. All right, let's move to Section 3, the physics of doing nothing. Now, let's zoom out even further to the fundamental laws of the universe, because this is the truly mind-blowing truth about what you are up against: entropy. The Second Law of Thermodynamics basically states that all systems naturally tend toward disorder and low energy states, meaning laziness isn't just some weird biological quirk, it is literally the universe trying to keep you static at a low energy state. The universe actually wants you to be lazy. Think of it this way: a rock. Naturally rolling downhill, that's entropy. It's comfort. It's the path of least resistance. But pushing that exact same rock uphill, that requires external force. It requires discipline and growth. Being productive, staying active, creating something new, doing any of that means you are declaring outright war on the physics of the universe. You are actively fighting the current of existence itself. Which leads us directly into Section 4, the comfort trap. Bringing this all back down to our daily lives, giving into this natural attraction completely creates a highly deceptive golden cage. Now, what's really interesting here is the stark difference between acute comfort and chronic comfort. Acute comfort is restorative. It's that amazing deep sleep you get after a really grueling run. It heals you. But chronic comfort, that is degenerative. Think of the severe muscle atrophy that happens after spending months in a hospital bed. The real danger of our biological attraction to comfort is that it lures us into a trap where we slowly, quietly trade all of our potential for safety. And this is exactly why this matters to you right now. When we become totally bound by our comforts, we stay in a job we absolutely hate just because the paycheck feels safe. We avoid difficult conversations because silence is just easier. But chronic comfort is a slow-acting poison. It strips away our resilience, creating this deep underlying fragility within us. Eventually, because we've lost all our tolerance for friction, even the most minor, everyday stressors become entirely overwhelming. Let's tackle Section 5, Waking Your Inner Caveman. So here's the big question. If we can't out-willpower a 2 million-year-old evolutionary drive backed by universal physics, how on earth do we fight back? Well, we have to hack the system. You have to fundamentally retrain your reward system. Beating laziness means you have to actively find the attraction in the friction itself. You have to break your biological addiction to safety and literally prove to your primitive brain that discomfort does not equal death. You've got to rewire the circuitry. And how do we do that? We do this through the core of biohacking, intentionally introducing what's called hormetic stress. Think ice baths, fasting, heavy lifting. By injecting these intentional frictions into your daily routine, you are sending a massive, undeniable signal to your body. You're teaching your nervous system to tolerate the uphill push, forcing adaptation and ultimately real human growth. Ultimately, what you should take away from this explainer today is this. That uncontrollable attraction to just sitting around on the couch, that's just your inner caveman trying to save calories for a hunt that happened 10 millennia ago. Your biology is stuck in the past, completely responding to a world that just no longer exists. It is entirely up to you to wake him up and start pushing that rock uphill. You now know that the immense forces of evolution and entropy are working overtime to keep you static. That tension between universal entropy and human growth, that is the defining battle of your daily life. So I'll leave you with this one final question. Are you going to let the universe keep you on the couch? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you next time.